Yeah, so we have our first relationship question. We're going to do relationships. It's fight week. You know, there's a big fight tonight, so we thought we'd theme it. So first relationship question would be, how do you resolve a fight with your partner?
I mean, it all depends on the level of the fight, right?
Yeah.
I feel like any type of fight you get into, you got to make sure that, you know, like, listen, tempers flare, and you got to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
And just really, like, you know, apologize if you need to apologize if things like went out of, like, if things escalated, if you said something you shouldn't have said, and just be honest and be like, this is how I felt. But, you know, like, in some cases, somebody can be more prideful than the other one, and, like, you know, like, you wild out, like, you know, like, you lose control, you trip out. Like, I'm not saying every fight's going to be able to be resolved in 30 minutes after it happened, but it takes time because women don't forget too. Like, women can hold that against you for like a long time. And like, you even forget it. Like, you'll have a fight today in 2017, and then, remember what you did?
Yeah.
In 2017? Wait, what? I don't remember what I did like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be honest and just be truthful, and then try to recover, right?
Yeah.
Try to make it up to her. You know, try to tell her like, listen, I'm sorry, and all that stuff. You know, what about you?
My boyfriend's listening. Take notes from Reggie, please. So I'm gonna speak for myself. So we don't argue all the time, but if we do argue, I think we just both go quiet for a while. Like, we know to just go, because I feel like if we don't go quiet, it's just gonna go, like, it's gonna go ham. So we just go quiet, and then for a few minutes, like, we take our space, and then we come back and we actually communicate. Like, we actually communicate. We do. So Sabrina doesn't believe me, but like, we'll come back and communicate, and I'll basically say like, well, I didn't like how you did what you did, or how you said what you said, or whatever. Yeah. And then he'll say what he has to say, and then.
My question for you is, because I know you from a professional standpoint, also as a friend, and like as a friend, you're a serious person, you know, like you're very on the ball, you're very professional. Yeah. So like, are you the same way when you're in a relationship, or you're more mellowed down, or is it even more like on the ball?
I think it's even more on the ball in the relationship.
For real? So like, the way you're intense as a friend,
and I'm not that intense to be mean. It's just. I come from a good place, even though it doesn't show, but I come from a good place when I'm upset.
Because I know how I handle, like, I know, like, you know, like, as a friendship, I know, like, I just go, I like, when you get, like, you know, to that point, and I know you get to that point, I just, okay. Like, I just say yes, just so you can solve. So, what does he do,
oh my God,
like, in a relationship? Like, does he, like, like I do? Or does he, like, get angry? Or like
it takes time for him to get angry. Like, you really have to push on his buttons for him to get angry. So he doesn't get angry that much. But he's basically like you. Like, when I get to that point, he's just okay, or doesn't even say anything.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
Quiet. He doesn't talk much. But
he's a smart man. I tried to talk once and it didn't help the situation.
But I think really, like, to resolve a fight, I think in a relationship, regardless, communication is very important. Because if you can't communicate, it's not going to work.
I agree.
And if you argue and you can't communicate, it's not going to work.
I agree.
So I think you both need communication. You have to be honest. Don't be afraid. Like, some guys are afraid to sit down and say, well, I didn't appreciate what you did. Like, they don't like talking like that. Like, my boyfriend will say, oh, I'm too tough to say stuff like that. No, you're not too tough. You're in a relationship. You need to voice, you know, your concerns and stuff. Because if you don't do that, it's just going to create barriers.
I mean, I agree. But I also agree with your boyfriend too, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like I hear him though, like, certain guys are like that, you know, we gotta.
And I don't get it. There's nothing wrong.
You're right.
There's nothing wrong with, you know, voicing your feelings, your concerns. Like, it doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you more of a man.
I mean, women are quick to say that.
What?
You guys are so quick to say that, but like, if a guy cries in front of you, I think you're gonna be like, he cried.
No, I have an ex-boyfriend who we got into a big argument like a couple of years ago. Literally,
and he cried?
3 or 4 years. He cried, and I was like, wow, real man. That's a real man. He wasn't afraid to cry in front of me.
Yeah, on his wedding day he should cry.
No.
On his wedding day he should cry. A real man shouldn't cry.
Having emotions does not make you less.
I'm not saying that. I'm not against the crying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like when it comes to time, you guys became something because you saw something in him, he saw something in you. You feel me? I'm not against a guy crying. We all cried, we all shed tears. What I'm saying is that when you're in a relationship, the woman comes to you and expects a certain level of protection, a certain level of, there's something to be expected as a man.
Yeah.
So when you cry in front of a woman, understand that you lost some of that expectation.
No.
Think about it this way. I'm gonna give you an analogy, okay? This is like you're playing 2K and like you got hurt. You feel me? It's like your potential, like you know, like when you play like association, your potential like 100, it goes to like 90. You're still a great guy, but just that's how I see it. I feel like if I cry in front of a girl, she won't see me the same way.
No, okay, there's a difference.
She'll be like, why did you cry?
Okay, if a guy is cries in front of a woman every day, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
But the one time
crying once, you'll always cry?
No.
Cry once, you'll always cry. They'll feel comfortable to cry now.
No, that's not true.
But in reality, he doesn't know that.
Do you think the guy doesn't realize after he cried the first time, he's gonna be like, crap, I cried.
You should have never cried.
He'll never cry again.
You should cry on her. You should cry on the phone. Like, cause you can play it out, you know, like, babe, you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Sure.
I don't think that it makes a guy any less of a man.
I don't think it makes a guy.
Yes, that's what you're saying.
Listen.
That's what you're saying.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna be very straightforward. I don't think it makes you less of a man because you cried, but I do think you lose some of your manhood in front of the girl's eyes.
No. Well, that's like women crying all the time.
That's expected. That's expected.
No, that makes you look weak or like a wimp or something.
No, you're a woman. You're more fragile than a man.
No, I don't think. No, it's the same thing. I don't know why men think that like things are different for men.
See, I'm a Leo, so I'm a prideful person. I'm a Leo, and I truly believe you shouldn't cry in front of a girl, even if you need to cry for them. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I'm gonna have a hard time crying on my wedding day, cause I'm gonna have Steve, all my boys there. They could document this. You feel me? Like, and like I'm a pretty emotional dude, and I'm an emotional dude. I just feel like you gotta keep it inside, you know? It's like this. It's like when you have your son, like a man, when we have our son, our future son, and he'd be like, yo, daddy, like, I hit that, you know? What you really think, no, for real though, like, I know it sounds super out of context, but how do you think a man feels when his son, like, daddy, I lost my virginity? You think, like, as a man, we gotta be like, okay, son, I see you use protection. Okay, how did it happen, you know? But how do you really think we feeling? Come on, yo, he lost it, you know? Like, knowing me, I'm gonna be like serious. Like, come sit down. Like, how did it go? Like, tell me the lead up, how you met, and tell me like what happened. He'll be like, daddy, that's gross. No. Yo, like, remember when you were 3? I told you can tell me stuff like this, but like, but again though, like I see what you're saying. I just feel like as a man, there's a certain image you need to like uphold.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you can be soft. Like there's no. I just feel like crying is too extra.
A man like can have a level of softness, but like I feel like guys are afraid of having like that 1% of soft. Like my boyfriend, like as soon as anything becomes soft, it's like no, I'm not doing it anymore. Like I'm too.
I'm different. Like I'm different. Like I'm gonna be like, you know, like very straight. Like some women, like before they come into me, like they think I'm soft. Like I think my girl like thought I was soft. Like I remember her first day, I didn't even acknowledge her. Like I didn't even hold her hand. I didn't even look at her in the eyes. Like she was just another girl. You feel me? But like again, like you appreciate, you be cute, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's a certain way you gotta act. Not saying like don't be yourself. Just be a man, expect it like I can, you know, like this man's right there. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like when you cry, like, so this man's supposed to protect me if somebody robs the house?
Oh man.
You know? That's not how we see it.
That's not how, and if any woman out there, that's how you see it, I think you have serious problems. You have serious problems. Okay. I'm not saying men should cry all day every day to their women. Yeah. Because then you have issues.
Imagine how depressing that would be.
That would be depressing. And I would say,
you tell them like, man, like, the TV broke. It broke.
Like you have some serious problems. But like if like you guys are fighting or I don't know, and it's just he cries. I mean, girls cry when they fight with their boyfriends. Like if it gets to that point and the guy cries, it hurts his feelings.
I agree.
So whatever.
So, I mean, you're right.
Thank you.
So that was relationship question number 1.
So the answer is communicate.
Communicate. Be the bigger person.
Be the bigger person. If you need to take your distance, take your distance, because that works too.
If you cry, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Just once though.
It's alright.
Relationship question number 2.
Relationship question.